Replacing a hot water tank that's 20 years old. Anytime you get a appliance, hot water tank, anything, you got 20 years out of it, that's real good. Know you see this mess all up on top. I decided to cut the top out of it and dig in there and see why it was leaking. Water pooling up all up on the top. So I wanted to know why it was leaking. First thing you want to do is find your main cutoff and just turn that off. Hopefully you have a cutoff in your house. Worst case, you may have to go outside and turn the main water off at the road if you don't have no cutoffs inside. You also want to go to your breaker and turn the breaker for your hot water tank. You want to turn that off. And make sure that stay off the whole time, even after you, until you make sure that your new tank is fully full with water before you turn your breaker back on. As far as turning your water off, if you're real lucky, you'll have some cutoffs right there at your hot water tank. This one don't have cutoffs, but I'm going to install some cutoffs in here since I'm putting a new tank in. After you turn your water off and turn your breaker off, go back to your hot water tank and just disconnect your wires. You should have 2 wires there and a ground wire. Disconnect them 3 wires. You may have to drain your tank in order to move it. Put your water hose, get your water hose right here. Turn this on right here and drain your water out if you need to drain in order to move it. I'm not going to drain. I'm just going to set this hot water tank to the side and drain it later. Here I have a new plumbing tool set I get to use for the first time. It comes with crimpers for your pets, and it's got sizes from a 3/8 all the way up to 1 inch. Got you some pipe cutters. This is what I really wanted for, is to cut the rings off of the pets. If you ever had a problem with pets trying to cut the rings off so you can reuse these fittings, this is what this tool is supposed to be for, to cut them rings off. So we're going to see how well this works. Take our pipe cutters, cut it off. Now we're going to see how well this tool works. Cut that ring off. Slide it up in there and squeeze. Cut it on the other side, squeeze. That is worth it. This is really worth the price. Screwdriver, just pluck it right off. I'm using 3/4 PEX pipe, so I need to change the insert because this is a 3/8. I need to change that to a 3/4, so it's easy to change out. Flip that up, and you see how the inserts will just come out. Inserts will come out. Get a 3/4. All I do is slide that into place right there. Flip that tab down. I'm going to show you from the other side. Flip that tab down just like that. Put this insert on the other side. Once you get that insert in there, flip that tab down. Now you're ready to crimp 3/4. I like to color code my pipes. So instead of using that clear, I'm going to go back red for hot and blue for cold on this one. I say, why not color code it? They all cost the same price anyways, so you might as well just color code it and make it a little bit easier on you down the road. Now put your crimp on there and just crimp it. When you put your crimp ring on now, make sure that crimp ring is about 1/8 of an inch when you crimp it. Since these didn't have cutoff valves right here, I'm going to put some cutoff valves right here at the water tank. That way, when I put the valves on, I go ahead and cut the water back on to the rest of the house. I'll do the same thing on this other side. Cut this ring off. Hit it on both sides. I should have had one of these tools a long time ago instead of using a grinder or a hacksaw or something. Make your job much easier. You want to get this off right here, just take your knife and score it a little bit. Hit it on both sides. Take your screwdriver, pry it right off. I'm going to use blue on this side for cold. Put that ring about 1/8 of an inch. Get your pair of pliers or something and squeeze it just a little bit so it stay in place. Then get your crimpers. Same thing. Put your cut off on now. Get that crimp ring about 1/8 of an inch or so. Take your pair of pliers or something. Hit it a little bit so it stay in place. And crimp this one. Shut both of these off. Go back right here. Cut the water back on. Turn that valve all the way on. Wide open. Here's the new hot water heater still in the box. 50-gallon hot water tank. When you go to replace your hot water tank, two things you want to consider. The size of gallons for your household. And also another important thing is the height of it. I think you should try to get something around the same height, because if you do, then all your piping and everything you had will pretty much be long enough to screw right in. But if you get one too short, then you're going to open up a can of worms, because your piping won't be long enough, or either you're going to have to set your tank on several blocks. It's a good idea to maybe get your 2 center blocks or something, or some bricks, and set your tank on instead of setting the tank directly on the floor. You want to set it up off the floor a few inches. Cut this ring off. Next thing to do is screw your pipes to the top of your hot water tank. This is why I say it's important if you can get a tank the same height as your old one. That way your pipes will be long enough to reach. Now I have these right here is these flex pipe, so it didn't make much difference. I can always bend it how I need it to be. But sometimes you may just have copper, straight piece of copper with a fitting at the bottom. You know, you have copper, there's no bending or moving that. It is what it is. Where it's at is where it's at. So try to get a tank the height of the one you already have. So you either want to put thread tape. I prefer to use thread paste. Just put your paste around your threads. Put a good amount all the way around. Once you got your thread tape or thread paste, now just screw your pipe to your hot water tank. Do the other side. Put a good amount all the way around. Let's take this one and screw this one on it. Now you got your pipes screwed in, and cut your water back on to fill your tank up. In my case, I had put cutoffs right here, so the rest of the house already has water. So wherever your cutoff is at, just go back and cut your water back on and fill your tank up. While that's filling up, make sure that your breaker is still off. If you turn your breaker back on too soon, you got a heating element up here, and usually you have another one down here as well. If you turn your breaker on too soon, you'll burn your heating elements because they need to be submerged in water. If they're not submerged in water, you'll burn them up. So that's why you want to wait for your electrical. When you're filling your tank back up with water, don't be in a rush. Just take your time and have patience. We'll make sure that this tank is full, like I told you before, because you don't want to burn the elements out when you turn your power back on. So what I do when I start filling the tank up with water, after I let the water run a while, you got a pressure relief valve right here. Get you a bucket or something. Open this pressure relief valve up. That way, make sure you don't have no air bubbles, no air pockets in there. So open this, so you see that air right there? See all that? All that air? Now think what would have happened if I would have threw power to that. It would have been an air pocket in there and burnt that element up. So open that pressure relief valve open. Make sure you got that air out of there and the tank will finish filling up. See water coming out of there? When you see that water coming out of there, you know it's filling up now. You look at position of that pressure relief valve, and where your heating element is about right along up in here somewhere. So if you got water coming up here, you know that the water level is up and that heating element is submerged now. You got a good flow of water come out of that pressure relief, you know your tank is full and you can proceed with your electrical now. Now, some houses, some hot water tanks, they have a pipe coming off here going. They might come to the bottom of the hot water tank and it might be going through the floor. Depending on where you live, depending on where your hot water tank is positioned at, you might want to make sure you have that pipe hooked back up to it. Also, they put a pan up under the bottom of your hot water tank. And then you might have a drain pipe coming from there as well. You know, that's mainly, especially if you have your hot water tank like located upstairs, second or third floor or something like that. But if you're in a basement or crawl space, you know, do what you feel. Route your wires down through this hole right here. It was a 1/2 inch. But if you got 3/4, you're going to have to knock that ring out right there and make the hole bigger. Now you can route your wires down through the hole. Get that in now. Slide and put your lock nut. Screw that on the bottom side right there. See this green screw right here? You take your copper wire, you put it around that green screw. Squeeze it around now, what I do. Then take a screwdriver and tighten that green screw down. Hook your hot wires. I always like to go black to black. And then this red wire, you put it on your wires left. Now if you're using white wire as a hot, always identify it hot and tape it black, or take a marker and color it black. But always identify your white wires as a hot wire if you're using for hot. You might have a red wire, but if you have a white, identify it as hot. So then just take and go red to this one right here. Put your wire nut on now. Fold and tuck. This cap right here. Take this screw out. Then you take this, flip it over, tuck it in now. Line them holes up. Next, cut your brake on. When you cut your brake on, you can hear the tank starting to heat up. You might not can't hear it on this video, but when you turn your brake on, you can hear the tank heating up. Now it's just a matter of just having a little patience and waiting. Eventually, as it heat up, you can put your hand on your hot water side of your pipe and it'll start to feel warm. As you give it time to heat up, you can also come over here to your pressure relief valve and open that up, and you'll feel hot water coming out. Just give it a little bit of time for it to heat up, and then you have hot water. You got your new hot water tank. There you have it. This PETS tool kit, I highly recommend it. Whether you're using 3/8, 1/2 inch, 3/4 or inch pets. All 4 sizes in this kit. You got your pipe cutters. Most importantly, these ring cutters so you can reuse your pet's fittings. I highly recommend this tool set right here. There will be a link in the description if you would like to have one like it.